is the remix.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's yours truly, and we're going to be talking about the Boogie2988 situation. I did a video on it already, and it was a little bit too verbose, so I'm just going to cut to the chase here. There was a shooting that took place in Arkansas of Boogie2988, a YouTuber, a talentless hack YouTuber, completely undeserving of his fame and the money that he's made. Again, I don't understand how he made his money and how he garnered any sort of fame or notoriety on the platform. I guess it's because he's mentally ill and he's able to trick people into liking him or whatever. I don't know. The whole facade of, oh, I'm just a gentle, nice guy who wants to get along with everybody. I see through that shit. There's some evil shit lurking behind the scenes, and I'm not convinced by this act that Boogie puts on. Now, Boogie made a lot of extraordinary claims that didn't hold up to scrutiny. He said that he felt his life was threatened by Frank Hassel. He genuinely believed, this is what he says, that he genuinely believed that Frank is a psychopath, that he's a danger to Boogie, his dog, and his roommate, and they felt like their lives were endangered, blah, blah, blah. And you can make a compelling case that might have, that might have been so, but if you genuinely believe that Frank Hassel is an insanely dangerous individual, an unhinged psychopath, why would you open the door to somebody who revealed themselves to you and expose yourself to that danger? That makes absolutely no sense. Now, throughout the whole affair, Boogie has reliably told the whole world that Frank Hassel threatened his life. He threatened to rape him. He felt that his roommate and the dog were in danger, blah, blah, blah. Now, I went on the kill stream, and I listened to the whole, like 2+ hours of this thing with Ethan Ralph, Andy Worski, Frank Hassel, and, of course, Boogie. Not once did Frank make credible threats of violence against Boogie2988. Not once. I listened to the whole thing, pointed out to me, and we can talk about it, but it wasn't there. The only person that talked about endangering the animals, endangering the roommate, was Boogie, actually. He kept saying really weird things. Like, he kept pivoting to this like, I don't care if you torture me. I don't care if you hurt me. Like, he's like the fucking Nelson Mandela of YouTube. Like, he's the MLK of YouTube. He's like, you can hurt me, you can do this, but let my dog go and let my roommate alone. You know, all this like stupid cringy shit. And people were like, dude, relax. Like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, it was so bizarre and confusing. The dude's a serial liar, man. The guy's a fucking liar. He's a manipulator. This is what he's known to do. And he reliably pulled this shit once again, and he's trying to smear and malign Frank. And like I said, I'm not going to change my opinion on the matter. Frank, at the very least, trespassing. Done. Criminal harassment, criminal mischief. Yeah, probably. But nothing that he did could be mistaken as credible threats of violence that would convince an ordinary person to act the way that Boogie did. Boogie exposed himself to Frank by opening the door with a firearm, brandishing it, which is fine. You want to brandish the weapon for your own safety. I think you might be able to get away with that. You can make a good case for just doing that. But what he did was aim a firearm into the sky and he discharged it. That is illegal. You cannot, there's no such thing as warning shots. Like, I'm out here in Vegas, to stand your ground state. We got the castle doctrine. There's no duty to retreat bullshit. It's a free state, open carry, all that good stuff. And, there's a lot of self-defense guys out here. There's a lot of really talented, professionals out here who teach self-defense, that teach home defense, that prepare people for these very terrible situations where they genuinely feel like their lives are in danger because there's a threat outside trying to make its way in. And almost none of them, I'm going to wager, if I were to wager money on this, I would wager 100% of these people would never, ever recommend or do a warning shot. Under any circumstance. It's a stupid thing to do. You endanger other people. You may endanger yourself. You may endanger your family. It's just like Boogie is a retard. Like, this guy is mentally ill. Like, this guy is retarded, like legit retarded. And he discharged this weapon into the air. And on the Monday Matt stream, he was saying that nobody was endangered. It's not possible for anyone to have gotten hurt. If anybody would have gotten hurt, it would have been reported back to me. So no harm, no foul. Well, that's not how the real world works, sweetheart. I know, like, you don't understand the real world because you're trolling Reddit all fucking day and night because you're a loser and you're a talentless hack. But if you do something illegal, let's say speeding, and you get stopped and you get the ticket, you get penalized for it. It's like, whoa, officer, Why don't you just let me go? I mean, yeah, sure, I broke the law, but you know what? Nobody was hurt. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. You committed a violent, criminal act, and you got to pay for it. Boogie needs to go to jail. And Boogie2988 needs to be banned. Not because I am against his speech, not because I think he's a talentless hack undeserving of his subscribers and the views and the fans and the money, but because he is a legitimate danger to himself and others. He has demonstrated clearly that he is not responsible enough to own firearms or have firearms in the home. The roommate seemed like a sensible person. I know this is me just guessing and assuming, and usually I wouldn't want to do that, but he seemed like a sensible person. And this person, allegedly, according to Boogie's own words, they've known this individual for many, many years, like 25 years or something like that. This person should know that Boogie2988 is mentally ill. He's claimed to have had suicidal thoughts, yet he feels it necessary. He feels like it's a smart thing to do to let Boogie2988 rush out of the home, expose himself to an alleged threat to his life with a firearm, and discharge it recklessly, endangering the neighbors, endangering people all around him. Really. A lot of things went wrong here. And of course my video got ratioed, which is fine. I don't really care. I'm gonna come out here and I'm gonna say what I want to say. My opinions, my analysis, my commentary, it's going to come from a place of knowledge and experience. I'm not going to be here and I'm not going to try to game people. I'm not going to waste your fucking time like some of these other talentless hacks like Mundane Matt or Soyless Matt or whatever the fuck he calls himself. Somebody like Boogie, who's another talentless loser, or someone like the Quartering, Jeremy from the Quartering. I was listening to Mundane Matt's show, his stream. Keemstar shows up, and by the way, I like Keemstar. I don't know if he's friends with Boogie. I think Keemstar's kind of a cool dude, and he said something that really resonated with me. He called out Boogie. He called out Matt Jarbo, the guy who's raising someone else's kid because he's a cuck. He called him out. People like Jeremy from the Quarter. He called him out, saying that these people are talentless losers. They rush to upload these kinds of videos without doing any sort of research, without reaching out to the parties involved. Keemstar is not that far removed from a journalist. If you wanted to make the argument that Keemstar is a journalist, I would probably 100% agree with you. He does he edits the videos very, very nicely. He presents all the facts. He does bring all sides to the table, and they have a conversation. He does the interviews. He reaches out for the comments. He literally does what journalists do. It's not a stretch. You can't say the same for somebody like Mundane Matt or Soyless Matt. I think that's what Dummy Pastas calls him. Matt Jarbo, that the talentless loser. He doesn't do any of that. And I was listening to the show, and it was so cringy. It was so embarrassing seeing Matt and his stupid cuck friends, his stupid nerdy neck-bearded friends, talking about firearms, talking about the law, talking about self-defense. These people don't know anything about this topic or any of those topics. They don't know anything. They're just a bunch of fucking nerds who talk about Star Wars and Disney, and they probably have a impressive collection of Funko Pop toys. These are the guys who are opining on this shit. Same with Jeremy from the Quartering. He's a talentless hack. He likes to upload like 5 videos a day, and he doesn't add anything to the conversation. He doesn't have any special insight on a lot of these topics. Sure, you can probably like talk all day about Brie Larson, Disney, and the direction that Marvel is going in or whatever, but who fucking cares? None of that shit is important. None of that stuff is interesting. And it's just soulless corporate garbage propaganda that they're putting on their channel, that they're promoting, and I don't want to be a part of that. It's just like, it's not fun talking about those things. I would rather talk about this kind of stuff and give insight on firearms, give insight on the law, give insight on self-defense. I am actually qualified to talk about these things. And again, but self-defense is not my competency, but it is something that I've been exposed to. I know a lot of people in the industry. They've invited me over to their homes. They've invited me out to the range. I've literally done this stuff, and I actually am trained on certain things. But again, I don't want to get too into it. And yeah, like the Matt and Jeremy and shit, like your fucking Boogie. These losers aren't qualified to talk about that shit. I am. Mr. Guns and Gear is. Mr. Garantham, Iraq veteran. so on and so forth. You know, you want political analysis. You want genuine political analysis. Razor Fist, Six Hexenhammer, Tim Pool. You know, Tim Pool's all right. I like Tim Pool. Nice dude. But you know, again, like Tim Pool's out there. Like, he's been out there. He's been on the ground. He's done the journalistic shit. You know, he's earned his stripes. You know, you can't say the same for people like Matt or the quartering and all that shit. But I know I'm being like kind of harsh on the quartering. I really have nothing personal against him. Do I think he's a little bit talentless and kind of a hack? Yeah, sure. You know, all of his you know, his content, most of it is all surface level pop culture bullshit. Again, I don't know why people consume that stuff. There's so many wonderful and beautiful channels here on this platform. Just don't waste your time with people like Boogie. Don't waste your time with people like Mundane Matt or people like the quartering. Or Jeremy from the quartering, you know, because there's just way better content out there. There's a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to discover, and you're not going to get shit from those guys. And again, like, my apologies to Jeremy from the quartering. I honestly have nothing personal against the dude. He seems like a nice guy. You know, he seems like a good father. Nothing personal, but dude, like, your takes are dog shit, and your editing is cringy. I don't have to edit. I get on camera and I fucking riff and I speak from the heart. And I speak from a place from experience. And based on what I've seen here with this specific situation with Boogie and Frank, hopefully Boogie goes to jail for a long time because he's a danger to everybody. He needs to take a long break away from the internet. And it seems like he's addicted to it. He seems like he can't just get away from it, despite how detrimental it is to his health. Jail or prison is the only remedy, in my opinion. He needs to go to prison. He needs to pay for his crimes, and he should probably be banned as well from these platforms. Not because I disagree with the content, like I said earlier. Not because I'm resentful at the fact that he's made a career despite being a talentless hack, but because he is a genuine threat to everybody around him. And, you know, I know that the Section 230 laws protect YouTube or other platforms from any sort of liability from, you know, Boogie doing something insanely stupid and illegal. But, I mean, what happened to manifest observable behavior? What happened to doing the right thing? What happened to being responsible and enforcing the terms of service? Boogie2988 threatened the life of a prankster, of a comedian, of a confirmed troll. He lied. Boogie2988 is a fucking liar. He lied about being threatened. He lied about his life being endangered along with his pet and his roommate. And he's just recklessly stupid with firearms. Other content creators have discharged a firearm illegally in their homes while they were streaming. Why is Boogie2988 not getting banned? Why is he being treated differently? Does he have some kind of protection? Is he connected with people at YouTube or Twitter or something? Is he friends with Susan Wojcicki or whatever the fuck her name is? Like, honestly, like, I want to know why. Like, what's the deal here? Like, why is he being protected? Honestly, man, I just hope he goes to prison. And he's just so fucking obnoxious. Like, I see right through this bullshit facade, this fake persona, this fake personality where he's like, oh, I just want to get along with everybody. I want to be everyone's friends, like a little fucking hippie. That's not the real Boogie2988. You want to know what the real Boogie2988 is? Go on the kill stream, look up Ethan Ralph's The Kill Stream with Frank Hassel, Andy Worski, and of course Boogie. And Frank Hassel, you know, just effortlessly fucking destroys Boogie and reveals him to be the talentless loser hack that he is. And he also talks about the creepy nature of Boogie, where he's like dancing and singing with like these 14 and 15-year-olds on TikTok. It's like, dude, you're like 50 fucking years old. What are you doing on a platform for children? You know, like, no, man, there's something up with this guy. And, you know, he was just like talking about all this weird shit about like, like some sexual stuff. It was really disgusting. And, you know, like Boogie is not this like sweet, innocent man child that he makes himself out to be. There's a sinister element to his whole shtick, to his whole persona on the internet. And yeah, you know, it doesn't surprise me that his wife cheated on him. It doesn't surprise me that he gets accused of being a serial manipulator and a liar, because he did reveal himself to be a liar, and he is trying to manipulate people into being sympathetic to him. And he's hiding behind the fact that he's suffering from some mental illness. Well, in not all cases, it's very difficult and challenging to absolve yourself of any responsibility or of wrongdoing just because you suffer from a mental illness like severe anxiety. Grow the fuck up. Go fuck yourself, Boogie. And all the idiots that are defending him and find my speech offensive, you can go fuck yourselves too. I don't care. I'll leave you with this, though. Everything that Boogie did in the video that I'm going to be linking to, do not do it. If you want to understand self-defense, a Warrior Poet Society does some really good stuff. James Yeager does some really excellent stuff. You're a really tough guy. I think he does self-defense courses. I don't know where, but it's a good place to start. Boogie2988 acted so cartoonishly. This is what happens when you play too many video games and your whole worldview is revolves around like fucking Star Wars and anime and all this other cringy shit. You end up behaving like a cringe lord like Boogie2988. That's about all. Peace out.
I did, in fact, talk with the cops about this. They said you're not supposed to fire a warning shot. They said I should have fired at him if I was going to pull the trigger, and they said I shouldn't have answered the door. They said I should have just stayed indoors and called them.
What happens with a warning shot? A warning shot was probably going to be considered a use of deadly force. Keep in mind as well that what goes up must come down. I don't know of a single law enforcement trainer who actually suggests that it's a great idea.
This may not be the best idea.